Have you ever heard the phrase, set it and forget it? I think it was made popular about 25 years ago by a gentleman who was trying to sell a rotisserie oven. And there was an infomercial about it, a 30-minute infomercial. Sad to say, I sat and watched it. But the point was that this gentleman had developed this rotisserie oven that you could set the food in, set it all up, set the temperature, and walk away. And you come back and you have food for lunch. Well, set it and forget it has become synonymous with a lot of things that you can automate. Do it one time, you don't have to do it again. But I don't think that particular phrase applies to estate planning. Let me give you the example of a couple different families. On one hand, I met with a family a couple years ago. They were prospective clients, and there was a lot of stuff going on in this particular situation. They had a very active business that was in the process of being restructured with the intent of selling the business a few years down the road. They had a number of children, broad ages of those children, in fact. Some were young adults, and some were in their very early teenage years. In fact, I believe one of their youngest children, due to some family dynamics, was not even living in the home at the time. They were living elsewhere. And I could just tell there was a lot of stuff going on that was going to probably necessitate some modification to their documents in the future years. But yet this family mentioned many times, this is something that we want to do right now and we don't have to worry about it again. I just don't think that applied in that situation. On the other hand, I've got a number of other families that make changes all along the way. One particular family I'm thinking about, we started working together in 2017, so that was 9 years ago, and we meet every year. And in 6 of those 9 years, we have discovered changes or modifications to make to the documents. Now, some of those changes were pretty minor, just kind of minor tweaks and minor edits, but yet some of those changes were pretty substantial based upon what this family was working with and dealing with at the time. So whether you've done your planning 2 or 3 years ago, maybe you did it 20, 30 years ago, make sure that whatever your documents say fit your current situation. I would encourage you to look at your documents every 2 to 3 years. Make sure that they fit, make sure that they encompass the circumstances and the facts that are going on in your situation right now. Set it and forget it may apply to a lot of stuff, but I don't think it applies to estate planning. Make sure your planning is current with where your family is and what your situation is right now. Hope you have a great day.